Hi, good afternoon. I'm Kyra and I'll be representing the Innovation Challenge team for the YCLE Spring 2020 cohorts. I'll be explaining a bit of an introduction to innovation challenges. So, what are they? Innovation Challenges is an open process that expands the pool of talents and creativity to find, create, incubate, and accelerate effective and impactful intervention to complex problems. The results can inspire faster, better, and cheaper interventions for international development. So, in short, these challenges is a tool to accelerate progress towards ambitious goals, address tough issues, and give incentives or rewards for solvers, and also can unlock additional finance and resources for the challenge. Because they are used to address specific issues, these challenges could raise solutions to problems in the science, innovation, and technology, design, architecture, and urban planning, youth development, leadership, and inclusivity, and also environment, education, and circular economy. The advantages of creating them is that they give quicker feedback cycles, effective use of resources, low monitoring cost, acquiring of additional funds by innovators, and also streamlined review based on fixed criteria. And most importantly, they have a simple application process. In developing your own challenge, there are several main steps to follow. The first one is scoping. So scoping is where you clarify strategic aims and constraints. You do your initial research for your challenge, brainstorm with your team or by yourself first, also assemble experts for your team, and investigate possible partnerships. After finalizing the scope, you'll have to design and develop your challenge. So you're gonna have to ask yourself, what is your rationale for the prize? Describe the context for your prize and the need you are trying to address, the problem you are trying to solve, or the opportunity you are aiming to make. Explain your theory for why the prize will work and what you will expect to achieve. Include the evidence you have gathered from research and engagement to substantiate your account. Um, and then, what is your prize statement or question? Define the challenge to which you want people to respond in a single sentence or two. The sentence may also suggest the method you have chosen for judging a successful performance against the goal. Make sure you have considered what constitutes as success for the commissioners and sponsors, the period of time to realistically and ambitiously achieve success, how your success could be measured, and what kind of testing or judging process you need to create. And then, for example, I used the Make the Alawai Watershed Awesome Student Design Challenge, where they are based on the overpopulation of the watershed, the flooding it makes, pollution, and also its vulnerability to challenges of climate change. Their sentence is, help us envision an inspiring, large-scale, systems thinking approaches towards regeneration of the Alawai watershed. And And then you need to determine your eligibility criteria. Define who and who cannot participate in the competition, and this will reflect the decisions you have made about what kind of innovators you need to target, and whether you will be highly targeted or very open. For example, the Alawai Challenge are open to schools in the state of Hawaii. The teams must be only from one school, and each student team must be sponsored by a faculty advisor. And then next you will define the exact value of the cash prize, if there is one, and any other financial or non-financial incentives, such as a commitment to purchase solutions or to provide developmental support. Your choices should be informed by the evidence you have gathered about what will motivate the participants, the support and resources they need, and your access to the support and resources, and the cost of investment for creating solutions. With that, describe how your prize process will work as a program, including whether you will have interim prizes or stage gates and whether you will provide support. So this is the example for the LOI challenge, where the requirements are the students have to give their project narrative, design boards, and also presentation slides. And then uh, define the criteria you will use to judge performance against the goal. Outline any test environment you might need to create and describe the kinds of expertise you will need on an assignment and judging panel. For the alumni challenge, the assessment is based on the adherence to submission requirements, ability to create and communicate a cohesive vision for the alumni watershed based on the vision elements. Sorry, wait. Ability of proposals to address short and long-term actions, and also the quality of visual information they are presenting. And then you will have to clarify whether your challenge could be most effectively run using an online platform. If you go down this route, you will need to decide whether you are building a new platform or using a pre-existing platform. And then you will have to outline the key features of a communication strategy for your prize. In relation to likely participants, make sure you have considered the additional market research, specific messages and channels that will gain people's interest and encourage participation, and also the importance of publicity. And then clarify whether ownership remains with the participant or with your organization, or whether you will share this. And then after that, outline how you will support winning entrants to find and develop a market for their solution. Include any plans for building market testing or brokerage opportunities into the program. They should be informed by the evidence you have gathered about the likely market for solutions and also specific interests from commissioners, investors, and strategic partners. So those are the questions to ask before you launch the challenge, and near the D-Day or the near preparation of the challenge, you have to clear processes to reach the challenge, clear materials for communications, promote through channel and media, apply frequently asked questions, and then recruit specialists, communications, judging, and experts. And while the challenge takes place, make sure your innovators contribute to the challenge effectively, set deadlines for the assessment and judging process, and also apply a post-award monitoring for a sustainable project. So to conclude my introduction, Innovation Challenge is an effective tool to accelerate progress when addressing tough issues. It incentivizes solvers, inventors, or innovators to push beyond conventional thinking while working with specific criteria and restrictions. And most importantly, it links minds of professionals globally with local stakeholders and communities. Also, while considering the roots of the problem, it considers a holistic view of the potential impact of dynamic change. Most of the approaches is based on prevention is better than cure. So rather than searching for the best possible ideas, you bring those ideas to you. Thank you. That's my introduction to the Innovation Challenge. It will guide you through the next segment, which will be three panelists from different challenges. They are also alumni from the YZLE program. And I'll give it to Ila, the next moderator. Bye-bye.
Hi! Now we are going to talk more about Bali Nexus Design Challenge 2019. It will be explained by Yohanes Lamere as a co-founder of Cahya Abisatya Innovation Lab and also a project leader of Bali Nexus Design Challenge 2019. Let's check this out!
Hello everyone, I am Johannes. I am the co-founder of Chaya Abisatya Innovation Lab, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about the event, an accelerator program, and also an innovation challenge program that I organized last year called Bali Nexus Design Challenge. The primary theme of this accelerator and also innovation challenge program is water, food, and energy. Why we pick up this particular topic? Because we are interested in finding out technologies, finding out solutions that can solve these water, food, energy problems at the same time. Why we believe so? Because we think that water, food, and energy are interconnected between each other. So, for example, if you have problems regarding your water irrigation in your farm or in a paddy field, we believe that it also will affect the harvest of paddy itself. And also, if you are fail to harvest your paddy, it might also affect your process, the food chains in your community. So we think that with these with these connections that coming from water, food, and energy, we believe we need to find a solutions that solve these three problems together. Now, Bali Nexus Design Challenge consists of three main phase. But I'm just going to talk about in-person workshop where we bring all of the participants that consists of 18 young leaders. Most of them are university students who are in their final year with bright ideas coming to Bali and to spend 5 days with us. So during these 5 days, we split each day into workshops, activities, in order to make the participants learn about what is exactly the idea, what is exactly the thought behind water, food, energy nexus challenges. So the first day, we bring our participants to a series of workshop. But most of our workshop was focused on business idea. So the first day was full of workshops, getting to know each other. We have participants from all over, not all over the place, but we have participants that coming from Malang, coming from South Sulawesi, which is Aulia itself. She's coming from Sulawesi with her team. So on the first day, pretty much about how you can develop your business model, how you can start building up your enterprise, and especially in water and food energy businesses, how we can start building your business and building your enterprise in that sector. We have speakers that coming from different backgrounds and different expertise, and we believe that our speakers gave a very insightful information and knowledge to our participants. The second day was about community day, where we moved from Denpasar to live in Jatiluwi. So the second day was about talking with community leaders. The second day was about spending time in a paddy field, exploring, asking people questions, because these innovators, they come to Bali Nexus Design Challenge with a very solid technology idea, right? So the second day is the day when they need to go to the community and cross-check whether or not their technology idea is something that match, whether or not their solution is something that needed by the community itself since the very first beginning. So that's about the second day. The third day was about workshop again, series of workshop regarding product development, investment, and businesses. And the fourth and the last day was about building prototype. So this is a very interesting part of our innovation challenge. So when you come to our innovation challenge, you're not just come up with a paper that consists of your idea, a paper full of words and pictures and whatsoever. But our innovators, they came to Bali Nexus Design Challenge with a lot of equipments, a lot of tools, because on the fourth and the fifth day, they're building up their technology. So for example, if you're proposing biogas or if you're proposing microhydro, on the fourth and the fifth day, you need to build those technology, and also you need to test those technology, whether or not your technology is working. So it was amazing. So participants only have about 24 hours time in order to build their technologies. Some of them went to bed early but wake up early as well. Some of them even didn't go to bed at all. So that was pretty interesting. So after these 5 days, we finally have to decide on the winners on the demo day, where each participant has to present their technology, their plan, whether or not after Bali Nexus Design Challenge they can go out there and implement and making another experiment with their technology. So the last day was about awarding. So the next question is that do we give prize to the winners, and what are the next step after these 5 days Bali Nexus 9 challenge? And the answer is yes, we give prizes to the winners. So we selected three winners, the champion, the first runner up, and the second runner up, and all of them get the prizes. Plus, they need a commitment of implementing and scaling up their technology back in their hometown. So, for example, we select three technology, one in Malang and one in Surabaya. But Malang and Surabaya are in East Java, and another project was in South Sulawesi, which is Aulia project. So during this 3 month experimentation, we give them seed funding. So the function and the purpose of this seed funding is that so they can purchase additional tools, they can purchase additional technology, they can make a plan, they can support their day-to-day operations in order to run this experimentation. Now, another question, is the money enough to support this team doing their 3 month experimentations? The answer is obviously no. But during this 3 months experimentation, we as Chaya Abisatya team also provide our support, also provide our assistance, also provide our energy. For example, if they don't have enough funding, we brainstorm together. We're trying to figure out how we can get extra funding to support your projects, to support your experimentation. Another thing is that how we can get into community. How do we know that they have a problems? We brainstorm together to decide how you can get the clarity on the problem, how you can go out there and find the problems and find the facts, find the information that you really need in order to make sure that the solutions that you bring toward the community, that you bring toward the village that will become your laboratory, is something that not bring disadvantage toward the community. So, thank you very much for listening, and I hope this information is really helpful for everybody who really want to learn about Innovation Challenge. Thank you and see you. Bye.
So, how is the explanation? It is amazing, right? Well, don't go anywhere. We are going to move to the next challenge. What is it? Let's move to the next video. Bye bye.
Hi everyone, I'm Kyra, the host for this panel, and here I have Kim and Pam with me. They are the women behind the Volcanomia Design Challenge, which was conducted in 2018, and they are going to tell the story behind this challenge and the impacts they gave. Pam is going to start introducing us to the challenge with the video I'm going to share.
The Volcanomia Design Challenge was actually formally launched last July 31, 2018 at the Bicol University College of Engineering. The Design Challenge wanted to unlock student creativity and envision a more resilient agriculture, fisheries, tourism, livelihood, and quality of life and environment in Albay in the Philippines in the light of Mayon volcano's threats through an inspiring systems thinking approach. So, how did this challenge came to be? Um, it was during that time, around March 2018, when I was actually taking my fellowship in East West Center. And around January of that year, the Mayon volcano actually erupted. That eruption affected the entire province, especially their tourism, because the area of Albay is very reliant on not just agriculture but also tourism, primarily because of Mayon volcano as well. So as a tourist, I actually went there as a tourist before going to Hawaii for my fellowship. And that's where I was able to really see what happened, the effects of the volcano eruption. And of course, I was able to talk to the locals. And a lot of them have been kind of used to living beside the volcano, living near a volcano, used to the destructive effects, I guess, of volcanic eruptions. But then it made me think as well, like, if we are already living beside a volcano, like you can't really ask the volcano to move, there must be something positive that comes from a volcanic eruption. And so I started questioning myself, is there a way that we can envision the volcano's threats into assets? So that's actually how I met Kim and collaborated with her, because she was a local and she would be able to answer that question better than me, because she already had numerous experiences of volcanic eruptions while living in Albay. As mentioned earlier, we partnered with Bicol University, its College of Engineering, and really different backgrounds were utilized from the students, because some, for example, some students had engineering backgrounds, some of them had management backgrounds, some of them had visual design backgrounds. It was really open for anyone who wanted to join, to wanted to offer a solution for the threats of Mayon volcano. So the Volcanomia Design Challenge, participants were challenged to really empower themselves and really to harness the volcano's eruption as a means to improve and add on to existing systems, which will hopefully help offset the negative impacts that Mayon's every eruption brings to the province's various industries, particularly in agriculture, tourism, livelihood, and most especially quality of life and environment in Albay. There were actually around 200 participants from all over the Bicol University. Um, and the students, again, they could use any type of skill set for just to come up with a solution for the challenge. And once we actually laid the groundwork for the design challenge with our partners, we realized that organizing it was really feasible because we also saw the interest from the students. Is that okay, Kyra, or do I
Oh,
need to
yeah,
add
yeah.
more?
That is okay. Thank you, Pam, for the introductory to the challenge. Kim, could you explain about how did the challenge work, maybe the timeline of the challenge, and what were the quick, like the results of it?
Yeah, okay. So as Pam mentioned earlier, we decided to create the challenge because for a local like me, have been sort of desensitized because we knew that there was nothing we could do to prevent it because as Pam said, the volcano was there. But apparently there was something that we could do to turn something threatening into something that could work for us or the people affected. So at the time, or even now, no, governments and institutions need new approaches to address the problem. So we created the design challenge, and that was around April and May that Pam and April to May or March that Pam and I started to meet to develop BTC. We launched it at Bicol University with the help of Engineer Joy Mandane, who is a professor at the university, and became our champion because um, coordinating with the state university was quite challenging because we had to explain that this was not an academic search, but we were not looking for their best student thesis. So that was a challenge. And then around September, we had them submit their entries, and those entries we received around 11 or 12 entries, which we did not expect. And those were screened by panelists so that we could choose our top five. So our panelists included Ian Ceciliano, who is a DRRM officer or disaster resilience officer at Libon Albay, Councillor Sheena Ondubia, who was a councillor at Tabaco City. She was focused on gender and development, women, health, and family. And Kevin De La Cruz, who was an expert in design thinking. And lastly, Dr. Chris Newhall, who is a volcanologist for the US government, but then is currently residing in Albay. So after choosing the top five finalists, we had them pitch live at Bicol University in front of the said panelists. And we at that time we were initially planning on choosing the top three who would go on to have a workshop, but then we were really torn about choosing among the five because they were all great proposals. So eventually, we had all five come into the final workshop for for the teams to develop, market, and pitch their ideas. These were skills that we identified that would be helpful for them in any of their current and future projects. So that was how the design challenge was run.
So, could you maybe tell us a little bit more about the winners? What did they
Oh,
the impacts about it gave to the community?
is it Pam or
You could both answer.
okay, I think Pam will be going first.
Okay.
Okay, so the question was like the way about the winner
Yeah,
or about
Yeah,
the result.
the
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 results and the
results and
impacts.
impacts of the
Okay,
challenge.
right. Sorry. Okay, so honestly, me and Kim, when we created this design challenge, we actually managed our expectations too. Because technically, it was on top of the studies of the students, meaning it wasn't exactly a required thing for school. It was kind of like an interest based initiative or activity that they could join if they wanted to. So on our end, me and Kim, we would already be happy if like three groups submitted an idea because technically we would have our top three and that would be, that would be great. But we just wanted to have participants, honestly. But we were surprised because we actually received around 12 proposals. And not just from the engineering school, which was our main partner, but we also received proposals from students coming from different degrees such as management, agriculture, food technology even, and visual design. So it was really great. Kim, I think it's you, the next one.
Yeah. Okay, so to add to that, I think one of the impacts that the Volcanomia Design Challenge did was it gave the students an opportunity to see the Mayans threats and dangers as a problem that we may not be able to solve, but we can make that work for us, like for by adapting to it. So because if we were honest, simply putting up evacuation centers is not going to cut it. It's not going to help make the lives of the displaced families any better. They needed livelihood, better sanitation, and to have options of not starting from scratch whenever they would return to their homes and communities. So, for example, we loved how the winning team from the College of Business Management came up with Plaza Katatagan. So, Plaza Katatagan is a Filipino term which means plaza means public space or square, and Katatagan means strength or resilience, wherein they actually designed a tent that will serve as both a strong shelter fit for a family and a convertible pop-up store. So to think of creating a pop-up store in the middle of a disaster, what would they be selling? First, they would be selling the produce from the farms that they needed to abandon because one of the problems was that their produce were they would be destroyed because no one would buy them and because they didn't have an avenue to sell them. So another, who would they be selling to? So they would be selling these in addition to locals would be tourists. So tourism has become a problem because there were different areas that were restricted due to the volcanic activity. But we realized that there were also a lot who came even not just even within Albay and outside of Albay to see the eruption. So tourists would look forward to a place wherein they could find it festive, where they could buy local products and produce. And where would they be selling this? So they designed it as to be placed in evacuation centers, which would be turned into festive plazas, maybe with an erupting volcano in the background. I don't know, but the thing is, the displaced families being in evacuation centers can be very stressful for them, and it takes a toll on their mental health. So to think that these students took that into consideration and decided to create a festival in the middle of a disaster was really mind blowing for us. And a runner up is a proposal for the Lava Rock Garden. This came from the engineering department. They proposed a safe area away from the volcano, but still within the view, because Albay has a lot of areas with volcanic rocks, and it can be easy to put up a lava rock garden, which will serve as a tourist spot where they can view the volcano at a safe distance, enjoy whatever is in the garden, purchase lava rock products, and tourists can even learn lava rock sculpting from local sculptors. So I believe, lastly, that they got the whole point of the design challenge, where they learn to listen to their community because you made it a requirement for them to have a community partner, consultant, or advisor to add perspectives to their problem. So they learned to love the problem that they were able to attack it with a diverse array of solutions.
And aside from what Kim shared, actually, there are also other impacts we believe that came from the successful implementation of the Vulcanomia Design Challenge. So, of course, with what Kim shared, there was the improvement of the province and also of the students. But one impact that we didn't really expect to happen was that other fellows from the succeeding cohorts in East West Center actually started organizing their own challenge to tackle other problems in their own areas in the Philippines. So just to give you a context, so I'm from Metro Manila, that's from the National Capital Region of the Philippines. Kim is from Albay, which is in the Bicol region of the Philippines in southern Luzon. So technically, we belong to the same large island, which is Luzon. But the Philippines, being an archipelago and being in the Pacific Ring of Fire, so it's not just volcanic eruptions that we experience in terms of natural disasters. There's also like typhoons, earthquakes, tsunamis sometimes, like the entire package. So the Volcanomia Design Challenge, if you look at it, a part of it is really about disaster resilience and environmental um it's not necessarily environmental protection, but really getting to know your environment so you are able to make use of it as an asset rather than as a competitor of some sorts. But anyway, for the other challenges that came about, there's this lab called Timpuyog Innovation Lab, which is also based in Luzon, which is also another interactive disaster simulation challenge. And we were very happy because these subsequent innovation labs or design challenges actually based their own models from the Volcanomia Design Challenge. And so we were if we thought we were happy back then, Kim and I were honestly happy that we were able to go through it and that we can actually claim it was successful. But more than that, it made us happy because we found out that our efforts actually inspired other fellows to use the design challenge concept, use the innovation lab concept to solve the problems in their own communities, to solve this disaster problems in their own communities. Because we believe that here in the Philippines, where experience a lot of disasters, we need to be prepared for them, and we really need to take advantage of our layout and our geography in order to respond to these things better.
Okay, thank you, Kim and Pam, for telling us the story behind the Bokonomia Challenge and their impacts and results. So from what I've learned is that the Bokonomia Design Challenge was made to reframe and maybe tackle the eruption threats and then turning them into assets with inviting ideas and implementations from the students for coming up with a solution and also inspiring other people to do the same, tackling their own problems in their own regions. Uh, so yeah, we've come to the end of our talk. Thank you once again, Kim and Pam, for being here.
Dircia Sarmiento Bello currently works as a solid waste management junior specialist under Recycling and Youth Action Projects. She is the co-founder and vice coordinator at Timor-Leste Youth Initiative for Development, a youth group in where she uses her spare time doing voluntary works such as organizing a business networking event, environmental awareness campaign, and other community services.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Dircia, as you mentioned before, and I'm from Dili, Timor-Leste. Currently, I work with UNDP Timor-Leste as an environmental consultant, I would say, because the one that you said before is quite long, for the recycling promotion pilot project and also a youth hub in Dili, Timor-Leste. So basically, my role is to provide the technical and advisory support of the area of awareness, in the area of awareness and behavior change activities.
Waste is a global concern for all of us. People produce massively more waste than our planet can sustain. Timor-Leste, particularly in Dili, the amount of garbage that people produce is progressively increasing as the population continues to grow. The current waste disposal practices in Dili causes significant impact on the environment and health. In an attempt of awakening the environmental awareness of the community of the urban Dili, the East-West Center Chapter Dili, in collaboration with Timorese Youth Initiative for Development, or THIF Youth Group, administers a project aiming at educating people on the environmental issues. The team used challenge prize approach to find creative arts such as theater and visual arts that would be used as tools to raise public awareness in school, community, and even public spaces. And in return, we gave them an incentive so they could continue creating impact in their community. The project kicked off with the calling for application, and there were 8 existing youth groups got shortlisted. The selected youth groups were mentored by experienced and talented young people for a month while designing their idea for final competition. The project is successfully implemented as the final art competition was participated by more than 200 youths and students, and VIP guests such as Ambassador of USA to Timor-Leste, Representative of Secretary of State for Environment, New Zealand Embassy, Delegation of European Union to Timor-Leste, NGOs, and media. Furthermore, all selected youth groups committed with their plans for implementing their own project or activities in their community.
We want to target them, and we also ask them the idea that they have, the initiative that they have, so that we can give them an incentive so they can use that incentive to create another impact after the art competition. After the arts competition, and during after we selected 8 existing youth groups, we gave them a $50. And this is quite risky because the thing is their lack of funding and they don't have money to start designing their idea. That's why we have to give them $50. But this is quite risky because for example, if we give them $50, it's good that all of them use that $50 to design the idea. But how about if they just run away with the $50? We don't know, right? But we still have an agreement. With that. I'm so happy that all of them use that $50 to design the idea. And while designing the idea, we also assign them a mentor for all of them. So we invited the talented and experienced young people in the other background and who have an background or experience in theater, visual arts, and also environment to assist them, to mentor them while they're designing the idea. So that took a month for to design the idea. And after that, on our competition day, we chose first week of October to hold our our final competition. And the reason why we chose the first week of the October, because we want to celebrate the World Habitat Day as well. That's why we chose that day. And 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 on the competition day, we also collaborate with the small recycling businesses and also the environmental youth groups to showcase the relevant products or projects in the provided stalls, the stalls we already provided, so that the audiences would know and aware the initiatives that currently being taken in this country, and they can also learn something from them as well. We're happy that on the final competition we have more than 200 participants. With this project is because we have because we had, like I said before, we had several NGOs, governments, and the agencies participating in the final competition. And after that, they follow up with me. They like 3 months ago, they also asked me to recommend one of the groups to do a theater in their project as well. So it's good that through this project, we also connected the youth group to the government and to the agencies as well. And after the competition, like I said before, because we want to use the arts, especially the performing theater and the visual art. So for the performing theater, during the final competition, we recorded them. So we hired the professional videographer to record all the competition. And after that, we use that recording. We use the recording to replay again in schools or in any awareness raising activities. And with the awareness raising, so they use that recording performing theater to play in their to use in their activities as well. And for the visual arts, it's kind of a lesson learned from us, because before that we didn't identify, we haven't identified the exact place to put the visual arts, except Timor Plaza, one and only mall in Dili. But the thing we missed out is we didn't have a written agreement with them. We just like mouth to mouth. That's why after that, like they move our visual art wherever they want. In the first month, they put the visual art like in the public area, in Timor Plaza. But later, because they had something, I don't know, and then they just move whatever they want. But we can't complain or anything, because we didn't have a written agreement. So this is a lesson learned from us as well. And for those of you who want to use this idea, so it's good to identify the place first before we started this competition. Thinking to do raising awareness activities in municipalities, in all municipalities in Dili. So first of all, we want to showcase our project as well, and also the recorded performing theater to them. So this is what we've been thinking to do it this year until next year. And also through this project, we also collaborate with UNGP Timor-Leste as well. And some of the project, they also want to use this one to do their activities, especially the green school activities. So we are so happy that it's not only us who wants to do this kind of thing, but many organizations and NGOs, they also want to collaborate with us and replicate this idea. Yeah.
So last question, what is your suggestion for anyone or anybody who wants to run an innovation challenge in their community?
The innovation challenge in community. Okay. So when we're talking about innovation, it's quite broad, right? But I'm going to focus on arts only. Okay. So I haven't mentioned before that, like, why we use arts. So currently, as we know, that raising awareness is the key, right? When we are trying to influence people, when we want to make something different, a positive impact. I would say that the raising awareness is the key, is the important thing if you want to address any issues. So in our context, as we noted, there are many ways and strategies to raise public awareness, but uh, in our case, we use arts. And the reason why we use arts, because we want to give the people a chance, especially talented young people, to explore their talents and create their stories to influence people mindset and people behavior. And we also believe that arts can speak to emotion as well as to reason, finding a new ways to articulate the richness and the diversity about the relationship between human and environment. That's why we use arts. We want to try out this approach to address environmental issue, especially waste issue. So my recommendation for those who wants to do an innovation challenge in their community, make sure to identify the root cause of the problem first. Like what is the root cause of the problem in this community facing right now? So we have to identify first, and then try to explore the idea. It's really important to do a networking, to connect with the like all alumni that you know. So don't forget to ask Lance, of course, to connect you with people around the Southeast Asia who have done the same thing. So you can learn from that. It's really good to learn from other people's experience. And for my side, I would say that if you want to do something, if you expect the outcomes, how do I say? I mean, like, make sure the expected outcomes align with your how do I say, like, align with your, like, of course, with your objectives, the aims of the project. And especially, I don't know how would I tell this, but what I'm trying to say is, like, based on experience, like I said before, for the visual arts, we don't know where to put that, but we just run the thing. But we've been thinking to put it in Timor Plaza, as we have talked with them before, and they agree with that. But because we're too excited and we forgot to add a written agreement, and this is a mistake for sure. Yeah, make sure everything that you want to do, make sure you have a written agreement with anyone that you want to collaborate, even the mentor, even the youth group that join being part of your project, or anyone that you know that is going to be part of your project. Make sure to have a written agreement, because you don't know, today he or she, they may talk something else, and tomorrow they might talk something else as well. We don't know. So the important thing is make sure we have a written agreement, and collaborate with people as many as you can, and say not like sell your idea, but yeah, kind of sell your idea to get many people included in your project. This is a key. So you can, because we all busy with especially myself, I work with NGP full time, so it's really hard for me to manage my time. But I'm so happy that with the great collaboration that we had among my youth groups, and also the NGOs or agencies and the government, everything runs smoothly because of the great collaboration. So communication is the key. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Dircia, for brief explanation. So for the audience, if
You're
you have
welcome.
any question about Timor-Leste Arts Challenge, maybe you can reach Dircia for further explanation.